Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you to our first inaugural meeting between me and Basil. We are going to talk about everything Amazon, what's the good, what's the bad, what we're encountering on a daily basis as an agency and a wholesale business. We do a lot of different things over here. We run our own store, we run stores for clients, and we also distribute products. So we know a lot of the ins and outs from the top to the bottom of the distribution chain. And there's always something to talk about. There's always an issue going on. It's not all roses like what you see on YouTube and Twitter. And we're going to dive into a couple of those issues that you might be facing. We certainly are, and the solutions that we've come up with. With me today, I got Basil Zaidi. He's been a manager of our company for over a year now. He heads up the agency of 10 individuals who help us out on a daily basis to make sure that we're getting and we're operating properly. We work hand in hand, growing this business from basically ground up OA business. It's currently we're doing about $500,000 in distribution, and we run about 15 clients stores. So without further ado, Basil Zaidi, do you want to say something about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Dustin, for having me here. And yeah, you did a good introduction. Let's get started with the questions. I'm excited.
Perfect. All right. So one of the first questions and the thing that we've been dealing with is, what shall someone do if the LTL shipment is not getting picked up by Amazon? We dealt with this last month. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So last month, we had around $27,000 worth of inventory. It was a LTL shipment. We had that sit into a supplier's warehouse for like 20 days. Amazon, was not picking it up. We had a shipment date fixed. Amazon did not pick that up. On that date, we opened a case with Amazon. Amazon did not pick that up for the next 20 days. And we were like, we were convinced to call all of that inventory back to our own warehouse and ship it from our warehouse. But luckily, Amazon went up there, picked that inventory up, it went live, started selling. So one thing which, we learned in here was that Amazon has done a big layoff, like 20,000 workers are right now, off Amazon. And that is directly, having an impact on check-in times, on inventory getting lost, on, those inventory sort of issues. And one thing which, we figured out a way to resolve it was, first of all, open a case with Amazon. So check your shipments, check your inventory each and every day. If there's any missing out, just open a case with Amazon. If there's any unit being lost or anything like that, just open a case with Amazon. We already knew that, okay, we have this inventory which has to be picked up on this date. Once, 2 or 3 days were passed and we had no updates, we just straight away opened a case with Amazon. And Amazon, it still picked it up like 20 days after. And I find one reason that, why we should start also like collaborating a bit of FBM into, our business is the reason with this is that for 20 days, our inventory was stuck, right? Even if we had our cases open up with Amazon. Now we selected inventory, which could have been sold in like 30 days. If we would have done like FBM for like 40 or 50% of our inventory and 40 or 50%, we would have left for Amazon to like pick it up. The plan which we had in our mind that this inventory should be sold in like 30 to 40 days, that would have been easily achieved. But in this case, we were like delayed for 20 days. Could have been a delay of like 25, 30 days as well. Luckily, it was only for like 20 days. But nevertheless, for now on, for anyone who is like doing this, anyone who's like facing this issue, what I would suggest is have a backup FBM, warehouse as well from where you can do FBM, and be aware with whatever's happening with, your Amazon account. Be updated at every instance, each and every day. So whenever there's an anomaly, just open a case with Amazon and, proceed with resolving it.
Yeah, I must say when we were dealing with the when we raised the case and it goes to the shipment side of things, they are pretty good about getting back to you in a timely manner, updating you when the shipments will get there. Now the problem was the drivers weren't always coming to pick them up. The drivers are backed up. So it's the communication's a little bit better on that side. You can't call them, you can only email them when it gets to that shipping level or the shipping department. But as far as I'm assuming that we're just going to keep on continuing these issues. Luckily for us, the product got sent in, we sold it out. So we dodged a bullet, but it's certainly something that we're going to be reluctant to buy, a large orders of LTL shipments at this moment. until things kind of like cool out a little bit, or maybe our LTLs won't be $20,000. Maybe it'll just be 5,000 or 10,000 bucks.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
Well,
And just,
let's
adding,
move on to the second question.
yeah, just adding one point,
Yeah,
we
go
were
ahead.
lucky that, we had a supplier, we were like in contact with a supplier, and she stored her inventory for like 20 days without charging us any extra buck. Or otherwise, it could have been a nightmare if like supply would have also been continuously like bugging us.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's go on to the second question. What shall someone do if the product is getting lost by Amazon? If they're sending in shipments and Amazon keeps on losing products, what's the process?
All right. Once again, this comes back. The reason, is the same reason which was for the first issue. Amazon has laid off 20,000 of their workers, poor check-in times, and also, bad inventory count as well. So Amazon like missed around 24 units of one of items. It was like more than $1,000 worth of inventory. And with this one, what you have to do once again, get your admin site very much intact. Check it each and every day. So, we figured it out just 1 or 2 days after that. Okay, Amazon's like missing this much amount of units, let's open up a case with Amazon. And on this side, Amazon's not really great with responding, although it does respond, but still, if they're like always telling us that, okay, they're like investigating after 7, 8, 10 days even, the investigation is not completed. So what we did was that we opened up like multiple cases, and it gets merged into the same case which you opened first of all. What I have figured out from here is that after opening like multiple cases, if it's like merging into the same case, this might cause an unnecessary delay. And how you can deal with it is that open a first case so well documented that you do not need to open up a second case. So with your first case, you need to have your invoices lined up. If there's a picture which you can get of your product, if your supplier can arrange that for you, that's going to work way better, with your investigation process. Secondly, this is something which we also figure out. Instead of submitting a PDF, invoice, print that out, take a picture, and then submit it. So that increases your chances of getting that reimbursement. Once that case is opened up, if Amazon has replied that okay, they're like that inventory is under investigation, give them their due time, give them 7 to 10 days, and once they do not get back to you, then get back to them, reply to that same case, so it can like reopened, it can get opened up once again, and Amazon can like once again investigate into that issue if Amazon is not reimbursed for your product.
Excellent. Yes. One other thing too I've noticed is that if you can give them a call on the follow-up, that goes a long ways, especially if you get the right individual on the other line that can help you out. Everyone has a different capacity when you call. They're generally trained, but there's always someone, every once in a while, you'll get someone who will go above and beyond to help you out and get you on the right track. So it's always worth it to give it a call, and maybe you'd be fortunate enough to get one of those employees that really cares. But let's get on to the last question. So it's getting to that season where it's going to get pretty hot in warehouses. Amazon has some rules about sending in meltable items. Give us some insight on that. Let us know what you know.
So Amazon does not allow us to sell meltable inventory from 15th of April to 15th of October. They will not be stocking that. The reason for that is not 20,000 workers getting laid off. The reason is a bit different. It's US climate. So, in order for meltables to get stored, they might need a temperature regulated warehousing system, which is currently not implemented. And even if that is, it will be, costing a lot more dollars than it will currently, like for the normal warehousing system. So what you need to get done is once you enter March, you need to be very much cautious regarding buying any inventory which is like any multiple items. If you can arrange a separate warehouse for that, and I do not talk about any warehouse, which you can find from like FBA, so Googling FBA prep centers. Instead, talk to that warehouse. Can they handle that multiple inventory, and what will be the cost? Because a lot of times, these costs are like much higher than what we expect. So, make sure if you have got that thing sorted out, which is a bit difficult, to sort it out. But if you've got that sorted out, you can go into multiple inventory. If you do not have that sorted out, I do not recommend going into that inventory. If you're a beginner, I do not recommend you going into that inventory. The reason being that there's a lot of constraints involved in here. So if you're not doing a good amount of FBM on your store and you're just doing FBM, you're planning to do FBM, the first one with multiple items, I do not recommend doing that. Once again, another reason being that we sort of tried to do something with dangerous goods. The price which we expected, the shipping price was like a lot more. So if you haven't done your calculations very much accurately to cents, you might be eating out your profits. The profits might be very thin.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah, I remember that product that we sent in, the hazardous materials. The seller has to understand that they're going to have to go through their own shipper. So what we do is we use Pirate Ship, which is a website where you can get discounted shipping prices, but it still runs kind of expensive, especially if you add heavy weights. So that's always something that you should go to as well before you make that purchase for those hazardous materials. Now, it's a great way to make some cash, especially if you're ungated in that type of area, but you just got to be aware that you're going to have to come up with your own shipping plans and your own shipping services, and you can't use Amazon's. But well, that should wrap it up. I don't have anything else. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much clear. Once again, it's a good time to start with, with the recession going on, with people getting a bit hesitant at this point of time to invest their cash. We've got like lesser competition. We've got big sellers who are getting out of this business. We've got suppliers who are like liquidating that inventory. Once again, and I will quote Game of Thrones in here. Chaos is a ladder. So sometimes you need to capitalize on these kind of opportunities. Get into this business where less people are like in. And once the economy, starts rising up again, you'll be the one benefiting the most out of it.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. When you enter this business, and if it was hot and heavy like it was a year ago, you're going to have a lot more competition. It's going to be a harder time to get supplies. You want to have a dated store when that happens. You want to be prepared to capitalize on some supply chains that you've navigated already. So once the recession recedes and we start making some big strides and getting some products moving, you're going to be well capable of servicing your clients with the supply chain that you've made and or the knowledge that you've gained as well.
Yeah, that's 100% agree, man.
All right, well, this will end our first inaugural podcast between Basil and Dustin. We'd just like to say thanks for anybody who's listening. Also, if you guys have any questions, hit us up on Twitter. You can hit us up on LinkedIn as well. We'll put our link in the profile here. Check out our website, prosperitypartnersfm.com, and we have a Telegram group as well that we can shout out. So if any of you guys have any questions, you can hit us up, like I said, on Twitter. We'll talk to you later. Bye.